Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tailgate Talk. We're your hosts, David, Nick, and Joseph. Boys, say hi to the people.
People.
What's up?
Yeah, so awful weekend. Hated it. Hated every second of it. Gross. We're just gonna blow right by it. So, Nick, Joe, you guys want to get us started off with your winners and losers of the week?
Yeah, I'll go
Let
first.
J- yeah, I was gonna say let Joe go first. Get it out of the way.
Um, so all right, so my winner is Oregon. I think the Ducks are the best team in the Pac-12. I mean, we all kind of knew that this was a possibility after the Oregon-Washington game, even though they lost it. But they look like one of the more complete teams in the country. Their offense is good, their defense is good. They have a running game. They can pass the ball with Bo Nix, who has more experience than any other quarterback at the FBS level. As long as Dane Lanning doesn't screw it up and make some poor coaching decisions, I think that they'll be in that playoff four, or at least have a conversation at the end, and that just revolves around them winning the Pac-12. Um, as for my loser, listen, we've been over it. I'm not going to be the dead horse. I know you guys want me to keep this one short. Clemson, you're 4-4 right now. We talked about it. This is not the Clemson standard. Honestly, I think you guys like not. We talked about it before we just hopped on the air. I think that Clemson's heading towards or heading in the direction of being the new Nebraska, where they suck for a decade and a half, and they're not going to get it right until something new change or there's a big change made, and you're gonna live in your glory days. I That's just my opinion. It's nothing against Clemson or their fans, but that's my 2 cents on the matter. 4-4 is unacceptable.
I agree that it's unacceptable. I will say I feel like Clemson's recruiting is still at a high enough level where we should be able to avoid Nebraska like for the next decade. So that's what I'm hoping for. I really don't have any energy for this team. They sucked it out of me. It is what it is. Go Tigers still, but goddamn.
Yeah,
I'll use David. I was going to spare you, but if you want to say anything about it, go ahead.
I mean, I was just gonna say that I think
He's at a loss for words.
the most important thing is that the coaching staff needs to get back into development. I mean, you can bring in transfer guys all you want. You can do all this, and that when it comes to recruiting. But if you're not, what Clemson used to hang their hat on was on development. And I just feel like that's kind of not been the case the last couple of years. So, you've got some guys that are doing a great job, and like Nick Eason's doing a great job. I think Wes Goodwin's jumped in and done an admirable job, but stuff on the offense needs to improve in terms of holding guys accountable, getting development going. The amount of turnovers is
Yeah,
just
I I don't know that like I said to you guys, I have a way left field theory that I'm not even going to go into today. But I think that obvious, and I think I've said it in the previous weeks too. There just has to be a big change with the program from where it's at right now, because this is not where they usually are, and they're much better than this. When you see the orange and purple, that's what you think, right? You think of the Clemson, the Trevor Lawrence. We've been over that. But I just think that there's got to be a big change in order to get them back to where they were. But that's my only thing, and not to get you guys off on a rant, but that's where I was going with that.
I don't think you can get me on a rant anymore. Like I said, I'm yeah, no more energy. It is what it is. Whatever happens,
That,
happens. Just beat South
that
Carolina.
that's fair. What's your winner and loser there, Nick?
My winner are memes. Michigan has supplied us with a bunch of memes this week. Just everything about the cheating scandal. Obviously, we're going to wait till all the facts come out. But it's looking like it's a full-fledged FBI level surveillance over here. Connor Stallions is kind of an evil mastermind when you start to think about it.
Yeah, you wrote a
Jim,
manifesto.
yeah, that's psychopath behavior. Honestly, writing a manifesto. I mean, we talk about that with serial killer. Like that's insane.
Yeah, the last person
Connor
who wrote a
Stallions.
manifesto was like the Unabomber.
Yeah, dude, this is out of left field too. No one knew who this guy was. Like this is insane. And Harbaugh knew. Everybody knows it. He knew. There's no shot he didn't know.
probably
So
supply the money for it.
Yeah, but
Probably.
but we all three of us know, and I think our listeners are pretty smart. They probably know that he is going to try and deny this at every turn.
Oh,
Why not?
100%.
He's going to say, "I didn't know this kid was doing this."
And he's going to go to the NFL next year, and he's just going to try to avoid punishment. Although I did see the NFL said, "Hey, if you get punished in the NCAA, we're going to hold that to you if you come here." So
I didn't know that.
I saw it today on ESPN.
I'll believe it to see it.
It's going to happen. I think Michigan's going to, and you see all the Michigan fans trying to claim, "Oh, we're not doing that." Yeah, you are. Shut up. It's happening.
My only thing,
Another.
my only thing with that as a conversation is just how many teams do you think are doing this? Not that it's condonable, but
To this point,
how many teams do you think are doing something along these lines? Maybe not as bad, maybe not as in
blatant.
depth, but
It's probably like when all the schools were paying for recruits before NIL. Everybody
yeah,
probably does it, but there's probably one school that does it more than others, and that school is
correct,
Michigan.
correct.
I
All right,
mean,
perfect.
why wouldn't you send a scout to go watch a game and
I
see
think
if you can and like that? That makes sense to me.
And
But
it
yeah,
is,
the issue is when you start recording and then
exactly.
and do that. That's where you're stepping a line.
and it is
It's
ironic that he had 2 losing seasons and then a COVID season where they only played half of the season. And then all of a sudden he hires this kid and they go on a 40-2 record. And their only 2 losses are people that they couldn't scout ahead of time because they didn't know that they were playing them in the beginning of the season. Just ironic.
But hey, they started figuring it out because they started giving tapes to other teams to try and avoid having to play people.
Did you wait real quick before we get off the topic? Did you see Greg Schiano? As much crap as I give that poor guy, did you see his halftime speech against Michigan?
oh he knew it. He was basically saying, "Hey, something's not right here. Like
He
someone look
goes,
into this,
something's
please."
not right, and it's not going on the field. But we're gonna make some large adjustments at halftime.
He knew. He knew.
But the memes,
It was
man,
one of those
memes are the
memes. Tell me,
winners.
yeah, it was one of those memes. Tell me you're not. Tell me you're doing something with that. Telling me that you're doing something.
But yeah, that was the first meme. The second meme was the duck from Oregon on game day holding up the sign to the new girl scene. I forget the exact verbiage to it, but it was pretty funny. The scene itself. So that the memes are back. Memes play every week. Loser. Brian Ferentz. He's done. David's golden boy. He's out of here.
Not till the end of
Iowa
the
is
season.
officially not to the end of
Darn.
the season. So hammer the unders for now, and while he's still there. Out of spite, I hope he just doesn't trot out an offense. I hope they just run the special teams the whole time just to say, "Screw you, Dad. Here you go for firing me." But he's done. Dunzo. Iowa obviously wants points, not less points. So,
Not this year.
but not this year. Starting
Not
next
any
year, the
year.
Iowa unders are over.
Not
They'll
any
give
year.
you
They're not
USC.
gonna. They're not gonna get that hire right. You know that. They're gonna hire a defensive mind and offensive coordinator, and Dave is still gonna hammer the unders until this podcast doesn't exist no more.
Oh, every day. That's my
Sicko
winners.
behavior.
My under picks.
Sicko behavior.
Then my loser is our picks in general. We went 2-2 as each of us this past weekend. We sucked. We were mid. It fit the Clemson
We were mid.
personality. So you know what?
Come on, we
That's
said
all
we were
it
going to bring
is.
him up.
That's all I got to say about it. Moving
We
on.
weren't mad. I said at the end of last week, I was like, this was a terrible week for all of our picks.
Yep. But let's go ahead and move on and try and do better this week. That's what we're all about, right? Is second chances. So let's go with it. Nick, go ahead and give us your first thing. Go ahead.
I think the theme of this week is going to be I'm not scared and you guys are. Look at those spreads. 21.5, and then you two are at 10.5. Pathetic. Give
Yeah,
me the Florida State.
until Pitt gives Florida State their only loss and knocks them out of playoff contention. All right, let's see it. Let's hear it.
If that happens, fine. Whatever. I think the Knowles win by 30. Pitt sucks. They might be. If it weren't for Clemson, everyone would be saying, "What the hell happened to Pitt?" So give me the Noles. I think they win by 35. This one's going to be over by halftime, folks. It's going to be bloody.
Yeah, for me, both offenses can score, but I just think that Penn State is pretty pissed off since that unnameable team from Northeast Ohio that plays in the toilet bowl looking stadium. So I think that they are not going to lose until they play Michigan again, and then we'll make a determination on what the result of that game is going to be. But I don't think they lose. I think they win easily here, and give me Penn State minus 10.5.
I need Louisville to come out with fire. I can't have Virginia Tech in the ACC championship game. I have a friend who went there. My life would be unbearable for the next year if they make it into the ACC championship game. So I need Louisville to take care of business here. So that, Birds, please have teeth this week.
Is Tech that good where they're like in the
No, they're 4-4.
No, but I think
Just 3-1 in
the whole state of Virginia is not good at playing football minus JMU, but they're all live. Like they are all ready to give people upsets every single week.
Garbage. They're 3-1 in the conference, but 4-4 overall. I'm pretty sure they lost to an FCS team.
Jesus.
Like I don't need this in my life. I just don't. Pick them. Get on. Let's go. Move on. I'm pissed off.
All right. So for this one, no Quinn Ewers, no problem. Give me the Horns. I think that they are just a better team than Kansas State. Wait, real quick, is this game in Austin or is it in Manhattan?
Not sure.
Oh God.
But I do know one thing I do know is that the Big 12 runs through Kansas, okay? So put some respect on the Wildcats name, along with those Rock Chalk Jayhawks, okay?
Okay, I looked it up. Luckily, it's in Austin. The line has moved from -5 to -4. I love them even more. I think people are sleeping on the Horns. I know they got a QB situation. I think Arch Manning comes in, leads the second half resurgence. Give me the Longhorns in the second half. Hook them.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. Give me the Tide here. Roll Tide. LSU's quarterback is probably going to win the Heisman, even though they're going to wind up with 4 losses. Brian Kelly is a terrible coach. He got lucky last year. He's not going to get lucky this year. The game's in Tuscaloosa. Fans are going to be live. They're going to be ready for this one, for the redemption game. They already showed what their redemption story is like when they played Tennessee. I think it's going to be the same story here for LSU. So give me Alabama over LSU. Easy.
Nah. Jane Daniels doesn't win the Heisman. It's going to be Michael Penix Jr. And that's why I'm picking Washington.
Yeah, even though he almost lost to Stanford last week.
Don't matter.
And Arizona State the week before.
Don't matter. Penix all the way. Here we go. I'm manifesting it. I believe that Washington, they're my pick to win the Pac-12 right now. Not Oregon, not USC, Washington.
That's a bold. I think Oregon looked a whole lot better than Washington has since that game. Yeah, I think Oregon's going to make the playoff. I think they're going to make the playoff.
I think it's going to be really, as long as they win the Pac-12. Not to take David's airtime here, but as long as Oregon wins the Pac-12, they're in. Don't even pencil them in. Marker them in that line. All right, go ahead, David. Sorry.
Let me just double check this real quick. Hold on. Oh, this is all nice and pink. ESPN. Let's go. ESPN.com. Now let's go to NCAA football scores. And we're gonna go to, what is it? Was it last week? No, it wasn't last week. They beat Stanford last week. Go another week back. Touchdown. They beat Arizona State. Go to
by
7
in triple overtime.
Oh, they beat Washington beat Oregon.
Listen, they're gonna play again, and you better be ready for the Bucky Brooks iconic game where he's gonna hit the Heisman on a 60-yard end zone house call. Okay.
Look at that. Hey, look at this.
David, I got a question for you. David, fact or fiction? In 2020, during the regular season, Notre Dame beat Clemson in South Bend. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Fact or fiction? Later that year in the ACC championship game, Clemson beat Notre Dame.
Fact.
That's my case.
Thank you.
It's easier. It's easier for
teams being discussed at this moment.
I'm just saying, in history, it's
Fact
it's
or
hard
fact
to
or
read
fact
a
or
team.
fiction? Were either of those teams being discussed in this pick?
Well, I can't say fact or
Fact
fiction
or
because you
fiction?
didn't ask
Were
me a
either of
question.
those two teams being discussed in this pick?
All I'm going to say is it's hard for a team to
Fact or
beat a team
fiction?
twice.
Were either of those two teams
Is that going to become a segment on
in
this
pick? I hear
podcast?
you
Fact.
say it. Fact
We're
or
gonna have the
fiction?
pick 'em, the over under, the
Fact.
lock of the week, and the
Well, then
upset,
you
and then we're
just
gonna have fact or
if you're
fiction.
saying that's fact, then you're wrong. Bye bye. Upset of the week. Here we go.
Oh my!
Again, you guys are scared. You're scared. 2.5 points. I thought we had a rule that had to be more than a touchdown.
You
What
know
is
what, Nick?
this?
I'm in depression right now. Let me do my thing.
You know what? I'm in depression, and when I get depressive, I get spiteful. South Carolina, you're losing. Jacksonville State, they're the better Gamecocks. Battle of the Gamecocks. Give me Jacksonville State. Alabama's they're going to represent the state of Alabama. They're going to channel their inner Nick Saban. Shane Beamer can't coach. Spencer Rattler is not going to be able to
Got a
stay
broken
upright behind
foot.
that porous offensive line. Give me the real Gamecocks.
After this game, South Carolina is going to have Shane Beamer with 2 broken feet, huh? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. They're
Is
going
it
to live up
me?
to their name of "You Suck."
Is it me, or does it look like both those mascots within the logos look like they've been infected with rabies and been untreated for about a decade and a half?
It's a stupid mascot.
Anyway, Arizona. Oh, I love this pick. Love this pick. This is my favorite pick this weekend. Arizona over UCLA Bruins. I don't think UCLA is out with their 5-star quarterback who's a freshman in Dante Moore. And it's trial by error. Listen, they've won some games, they've lost some games due to Dante Moore. This week, I think I'm a big believer in Arizona. I just think that they're live here. Get plus 2.5 is easy money. If it was like plus 10, maybe not, but like 2.5 is easy money. Take it to the bank. Arizona over the Bruins, number 20 Bruins. I love this upset.
All right. So here's the long game here with this pick. Georgia Tech Georgia Tech this year has won only on even games. So the second, the fourth, the sixth. This is what the let's see. This is the ninth. This is the ninth game. This is an odd game. This is an odd game. This is the ninth. They play Clemson next week. That's the 10th. They play Georgia the week at the end of the season. That's going to be the 12th. So what I need here is I need a little bit of juju for them to win this week, so they lose next week, so Clemson can maybe make a bowl, and then go on and beat Georgia because that'd be really hysterical. But anyway, they've also only scored in even quarters, so second quarter, fourth quarter. Georgia Tech just really likes the even numbers. I want them to hit a little bit of the odd this week. And you know what? 2.5 feels good. I feel like Georgia Tech just hasn't gotten the respect that they deserve for some of the wins they've gotten. So you know what? Georgia Tech, you guys got it this week. Go down and
that's one of the more bold takes
take
on this
out the
podcast so far.
Wahoo-Wahs.
That's one of the more bold takes on this entire podcast in this existence since I've been on this podcast. But okay.
The fact that Georgia Tech's a dog here is absurd to me.
Exactly. That's why I'm picking it. Because you know what? They need some good juju from me. I'm pretty garbage about it, but you know what? We got this. So moving on. Over under.
SMU committed war crimes last week in the first half. They had this over for maybe not this over, but they had a lot of points in the first half. Pony up, future ACC members. Give me the over. Never a doubt. JT Daniels has like 21 touchdowns, 2 picks. Offensive fireworks. 58.5. I'd love it at 68.5. Give me the points.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. We all know where I'm going. Circle it. Georgia, best team in the country. This is one of those overs this is one of those upsets I was talking about that I don't like it enough to win, but I like it enough to cover. If you're looking at your FanDuel, your MGM, or what have you. But I really love Missouri here. I'm a really big believer in Luther Burden III. Give me Give me the over here. I think both offenses are going to be explosive. I think Georgia is figuring it out with their offense now that they don't have Brock Bowers, who's a luxury item. They're pitching it around to different people. Lad McConkey had, I think, over 130 yards and a touchdown last week. I think the offense is just going to blow this game up. I think they both might score 55 alone. So give me the over here.
The over the line for Iowa, Nebraska has now moved to 31. It was before at 29 and a half, 30 and a half, 30 points. Love it. Too many points. Bringing it down there. You know what? I'm calling it here. If it goes down to 20, I still feel good about it. Screw it.
Did you just
Iowa?
wait? Did I hear you say Nebraska? Is that what you just said?
The Iowa Northwestern.
Okay. If I heard Nebraska, ooh.
It's just been
But-
one of those weeks, bro.
Nick was about to go start his own podcast.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? The fighting fences, whatever, however you say his last name, they're going out with style. They're going out with style. No points the rest of the season. They're still going to win the games, make a bowl. I'm going to freaking love it.
You know what? I actually will condone the underpick here because I think it'd be really funny if he just said, you know what? Screw you. We're going 10 points a game now.
Mm-hmm.
I would just.
I also
that'd be
think.
so
I
funny.
also think.
I want them to
I
start
also
playing on
think.
second down.
I also think that there's a chance that now he just throws caution to the wind and they're just gonna run 4 verts like you do in Madden as a kid,
That would
and they're
be
just
sick.
gonna throw caution to the wind and they're gonna score 60. You know, I don't
Then
know.
what do they do?
There's no film on the quarterback, so how do you defend him?
But you know what? I love it. I want to see these unders keep going lower and lower with Iowa, and I will keep picking them because this is so much fun.
You were a sicko.
Yeah, sick man.
That's this year for me. And you know what? This is the only joy that I have on Saturday.
Oh my god, I feel bad for you.
It's pretty sad.
Very sad.
So, yeah.
You know what? I had a bright glimmering ray of hope when the New York Jets beat the New York Giants this week. Jet
They
up,
cheated.
jet life. Let's go.
When they cheated,
They didn't cheat.
you're not supposed to touch the ball until the ref spots it, boy.
The ref touched it. It's fine.
Nope.
Ref did. I don't care. A dub's a dub. Next time, don't let Zach Wilson have 24 seconds on the clock. It's
I tell you
24
what,
seconds, no problem.
We're a
Those
college
defenses-
football podcast.
those defenses, Jets and Giants, how could you not enjoy that, Nick?
Because I wanted to scrape my eyes out. It was terrible. Oh my god.
Kayvon Thibodeau single-handedly killed me in fantasy because I was playing against him. Had 15 points because he had like 3 sacks. Love it. I'm all for it.
He was an animal in high school. I was reading about him. He was like 6'6" in high school as a junior, and he had 170 tackles alone. I was like, this kid is unreal. So
He's been a beast since Oregon.
I think that's all the gas we have for this week. The math budget is fully booked. We're running on fumes. But you know what? Screw it. Go Tigers. Beat the Irish. Let's shock the nation, boys. This is what's gonna happen. I don't know. It's gonna be great. I'm not gonna be able to watch it, but you know what?
are we placing a friendly wager on this one, pal?
Hell no.
No. We're gonna lose.
Wow, no
beaten.
friendly wager, huh? I was gonna bet dinner the next time I saw you.
You already did one last week. I ain't about that life.
Yeah, that
I was gonna bet you a steak dinner, you know. But if you don't,
How
want
is
to
that
talk about
friendly?
what your mouth is.
Steaks are
Listen,
expensive.
I'll even give you the. I'll even bet the points.
It's only a 2.5 point spread.
All right, put the spread at 5. I don't care. I'll still buy you a steak dinner if we don't cover.
You know what?
That's still tight.
If Clemson wins, you buy me a steak dinner. If
And
Notre
if
Dame
Clemson
wins,
loses, you buy me a
I'll
steak
give you a
dinner.
handshake.
Now, say no, but I don't think. Bones, say no, but I don't think. That's my dog, by the way.
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Congratulations, Joe, on an easy win this week. Good job. Kudos. Enjoy the win. It's going to be ugly.
Marcus Freeman, we're going to come back next year. This year, we're done. We're cooked. We're outside the playoffs. It was a great year. We played Ohio State competitively. Those soft football players from Ohio. And
wait, factor fiction here. If you lose to a soft team, doesn't that make you inherently soft?
No, because we didn't
Makes you
have
bad at
all
math
the
because you
people on
can't
the
count
field.
to 11.
David, factor fiction. If you lose to a soft team, are you inherently soft?
Fiction.
Fact.
Fiction.
I got to roll with
I'm
David
sorry.
here.
Who has the better
All
record?
I know for sure is that it really makes you bad at math because you can't count to 11.
Who has the bad record?
Notre Dame.
You can't count to 11.
Well, not really, because ACC right now we would be above those Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be above Louisville.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one. You got me
yes,
there.
David.
Fiction.
My one win for the week.
You got me there.
Joe, saying who has the better record, you can't hurt us anymore. We're already done. We don't care.
Yeah, but you haven't gotten a fork stuck right in you yet. You're dead.
What do you mean that
Yes,
happened
we
last
have.
week?
Stick the fork in you, then pull it back out, then stick the fork right back in.
You're just cruel.
We're just a corpse at this point. It doesn't matter.
You lost to a team with teeth.
Yeah, but we also played the number 2 team in the number whatever team in the country really, really good. So
you really want to hang your hat on a loss?
We did the same thing with Florida State, and you don't see us bragging about it.
I'm just saying it's not the best look to be hanging your hat on a loss.
Listen. If you believed in your team that much, you would bet steak dinner on it. That's all.
We don't. That's what we're trying to tell you.
Here's me hanging my hat. You want to hang your hat on another loss?
Yeah, stand by.
Wait, fact or fiction? Ohio State finished the game with more points than Notre Dame. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
There we go.
All
Listen,
right.
we're gonna start.
Tigers.
We're done. Go Tigers. Bye.
Lame. We're gonna start a new